Project Belgium, he's a great player, but he likes to pick orange. And as much as I would like to stick with the colors that the players pick, orange on this terrain is deadly. It's very hard to see for a caster and a player, and it's probably part of the reason he picks it. So I'm actually going to switch his color to red, and we'll actually keep Stark as teal. I think that's fine. I don't think it will really clash for anyone's vision out there. So Chinese for Project Belgium, one of the best land map civilizations, and he's 2400. I know it says 2200 elo, but that's actually Stark's elo. So I would definitely give Project Belgium an edge with the civs here. But Bulgarians can be tricky. Bulgarians definitely have that power spike with the free man-at-arm upgrade and the cheaper blacksmith upgrades. And there's also an opportunity maybe for Bulgarians to control the middle on Gold Rush with their Krepos. So we'll see. In the meantime, I think, since I'm kind of in answer question mode, I'll get to a few questions and messages from people in chat. Like, thank you, Xander, for the sub. Got some people asking questions here. Yeah, Loey the Legends are still going to be Tuesdays. No worries there. Community games will still be Friday. And if you want to play in community games here on the stream, you just got to show up, basically. There's a system I'll explain, show you guys how to get involved. And it will be a little different from what we did on Twitch, but it's still the same premise. Chinese Hero in chat, who has an account named Chinese Hero, and also has a Chukunu as his avatar image, says... Hyped for Chinese, it's all I play. Really? I thought you played Franks, bro. Wow, I'm surprised. I really thought, based on your username and your image, that you would play Franks. All right, that's fine. Well, Chinese are really strong. If you can get going with Chinese and you don't take damage in early feudal, very hard to stop. You'll have more villagers. Your techs will be cheaper than theirs. You have a lot of options. So that's typically what it comes down to. And I think with this map, Project Belgium could stay safe with some walls. If you think about it, you could maybe even wall in this gold. So maybe wall here and maybe wall this way. And then you're pretty well protected. So yeah, I think that Stark's playing at a skill disadvantage and civ disadvantage. But he is going to wall. And he does have a nickname named Wall and Boom. So maybe what Belgium's going to do is Belgium's going to assume, oh, I can just go scouts, meta. And then maybe Stark will be able to do something else here. He also got Loom really early. And yeah, I guess if he gets these walls down, he's going to have both of his golds and his base. You have 7 tiles of gold on Gold Rush. And there's a very good chance... Oh, geez, that freaked me out there for a second. There's a very good chance that a fast castle would be something that Project Belgium doesn't expect. Gecko says, T90, do you still get money from subs if we haven't canceled them on Twitch? I do, yes. The thing is with Twitch is that, like, technically what's supposed to happen is I tell them, hey, I'm not renewing my partner contract, and then they remove my partnership. But Twitch is so disconnected from their creators, and believe me, I experienced this over the last few months as I would have conversations or lack of conversations with them. I don't even think they know I'm gone. So as long as my sub button's there, you can. I actually receive a tidbit more if you subscribe on Facebook. But as always with everything, I want you to have options where you watch the content and how you want to support the content. So there's plenty of that out there. But yeah, that's the situation. But like the lack of acknowledgement or even care on Twitch's end was just absolutely baffling through this whole process. I will definitely have a conversation with you guys more about that. Maybe further down the line, many years from now, but yeah, I guess to be expected. Okay, so Project Belgium saw the walls, and now he might say, he's not going to rush me. Maybe I should go fast castle as well. And he is creating more villagers, so the difference is he just hasn't had to wall as much. But he's going to be able to collect that wood from the 2 lumber camps, probably end up farming as the sheep are disappearing, and go fast castle. Well, the good news is you know that you're not going to see fast castle crossbows from Bulgarians because they don't get crossbow. So it's most likely going to be something more along the lines of fast castle knights. So maybe if you're Belgium, you want to go fast castle into knights and camels? I don't know. Don't tease me with the dirt. Nah, man, it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge, man. I'm excited for this new chapter, and My focus is just interacting with you guys and making sure you guys know the situation on stuff, right? I think 3 years ago I'd be more the guy. Let's dwell in the past. Let's get frustrated. Let's let that influence our decisions, but not so much nowadays. Getting too old, I guess. I don't know. I still think that this benefits the Chinese. Like, Bulgarians, it should be all about aggression, but I guess cheaper blacksmith upgrades could help the aggression in the next stage. But, you know, at this point, you're just not applying any pressure to the Civ that starts with 6 Vils. So, it's not like the situation benefits Stark hugely, but when you are at a Civ disadvantage, you need to just put your foot on the gas in some way and try and kill quickly. So, how big will Hidden Cup 5 get? We'll see about that. We'll see about that. There will be more Hidden Cups. A lot of people have asked me about events. A lot of people have asked me about being able to participate in things around the community. I'll still be able to cast with people. I can still go to LANs. You know, it's just the difference with me here on this platform is that it's just a better move for me in my future. It's going to expose Age of Empires to a completely different group of people, which I think is going to have a big effect. And, I mean, there's other things as well, but I mean, the platform cares a little bit more about me. And we'll see. Yeah, I'm still going to do events, but no news over Hidden Cup. I know the next 3 to 5 months are going to be crazy with AoE 4. I know it's also going to be crazy with AoE 2 stuff as well. So I'll keep you in the loop. Now that you're Microsoft, now that you're on Facebook, you can organize a best of 7 between Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. That's actually what happened, and that's why I'm here. Because Microsoft was like, wait a second, we're not sure we want him to go to that platform. And I said, okay, Microsoft, you're not going to put your money where your mouth is. You need to give Bill a call, and he's going to play a best of 7 Arabia show match against Mark Zuckerberg. And so they showed up, and unfortunately, it was closed casting. I wasn't allowed to cast it. But man, Zuckerberg's got some crazy micro. It was insane, man. He'd got like 3 scouts over here, 3 scouts over here, 3 scouts over here. Idle TC the whole time, of course. They are noobs after all. But yeah, that's why I'm here. That's the story. All right, archer range, and probably 2 archer ranges for Belgium. True story, by the way. True story. Not at all a joke. And so this is going to be crossbows for Belgium. Don't tell me Stark's just going to boom. Is Stark just going to go 3 TCs here? Guys, he doesn't even have a military building. Okay, this is actually really smart. I mean, okay, it's probably going to get punished by crossbow play. At least it should in theory, especially on Gold Rush where you need to take the map. But I don't know what Stark is saying right now. Hopefully, my guess is it's bleeping a normal conversation because that's what this game... Stark's probably like, that's not even a bad word. And now, okay, now they're talking. I'm going to need a translator in here. And we've got spec chat. Did they pause to talk there? They literally paused to have the conversation. Stark says, about to go to one after this game. And Project Belgium says, nice, enjoy. What are they talking about here? What is that? Barchalor Par. And did they pause to translate it? I have no clue. I have no clue what that means, but I would like to know what that means. I think it would make this more entertaining. But Stark is going to go 3 TCs on a map where you need to have map control. He says, screw it. He gets the wood, he gets the farm upgrade, and he's just going to boom. Bachelor party. You can't say bachelor party without getting bleeped. Well, the other day, I told someone to signal their dock in a team game. I said, where's your dock? And it got bleeped. So, you would think that you could say the word dock because dock is actually a unit in the game. But apparently we can't. I like how they just take the time to have some conversation, you know? It is a pretty boomy game. And this is going to put some pressure on Belgium, I think, to recognize the situation. He scouted. He didn't see a stable. He didn't see a barracks. So normally you should be trying to break in with your army. But maybe he's a little worried about that right now. Microsoft made T90 move to Facebook as part of the deal for Spec Chat. Yeah, you think so? I don't know about that one, buddy. Not sure about that one. Here comes the crossbows. Yeah, I think if the crossbows aren't breaking in right now, this could end up being pretty good for Stark. I mean, he'll probably fall back to a Siege Workshop. I don't think he knows. Let me see. He doesn't actually know that it's going to be crossbow yet, so he's waiting. He might instinctively go Monastery if he's expecting Knights. But we know that it will be crossbows, and he could just fall to a Siege Workshop. Does have a slight Vil lead, which is nice. Also has a lead with the technologies, but it's not like he's going to have the craziest boom behind this compared to a player who will have map control and then will be able to go 3 town centers soon. And here come the crossbows. So now what you should do if you're Stark is you should add a Siege Workshop. And you should probably think about something like Scorpions. But he doesn't have gold! What? You don't even town center the gold! I mean... Obviously, his mind is on the bachelor party. I heard those things are pretty fun. But, like, dude... You need to have gold to make scorpions. I guess he's got a market, so he's going to sell wood or he's going to sell food. And, oh, don't tell me the Siege Workshop's denied. This brings me such pain, Stark. Finish it, please. Belgium, just do it out of sympathy at this point. Not sympathy for Stark, sympathy for me. 97% Siege Workshop. Okay, it's alright. He's a very nice guy. You see what happens to the wood count in those situations? Because you're not able to expand your farm. 4 TCs! He's such a boomer! 4 TCs when you need to take map control. You have limited space, limited gold, limited time. And he's like, yep, we're playing Black Forest, right? Did I get the map wrong? I really thought this was Black Forest, man. I have to say, they look very similar. I don't think there's a hole here, so this was actually really smart when he had the time to do this. And hey, I mean, Scorpions, town centers that will protect from the crossbows. I think this is an invitation for Belgium to go for a Siege Workshop here. Because Mangonel would be good against Scorpion, but we'll see. You see the scout going in for an attack here, and the scout's going to die, but we have no other action, so I needed to talk about it. There we go. And Stark is just... Again, I said you have to put your foot on the gas. What I meant by that was put your foot on the gas with military, but he just went the other direction. He put his foot on the brake. He braked really hard. I think it's going to have to be something like Siege Knight, though. Like, you can't just move out with the Siege at this point. It's going to have to be Knight. And what's tricky is, how are you going to be able to take out Mangonel with 1 or 2 Knights if there's crossbows, right? So, we'll be mainly about the Siege numbers, I feel. He's got 5 town centers on a map where you need to take the control. This is ridiculous. Okay, he could lose Vils here. I think at this point, Belgium forgot he doesn't have Bodkin. And it was actually a good move not to get it because he wanted food for Vils. Also, Belgium's on stone, so he wants to drop a castle and apply pressure. All this stuff is very good. Meanwhile, Stark is just at 72 villagers. He's running out of space to build farms over here. But yeah, if he forgets Bodkin... Okay, and now it's coming in. Bodkin is a really important upgrade for these crossbows. And there's a lot of them. I have to say, though, I'm very... Like, at least Stark is not trying to play the way the Chinese would play. With a little bit of military and a little bit of a boom. I wanted him to go all-in Knights. But instead, he's going all-in TCs. And I think it all makes sense. Cannot play as comfortable as Chinese. You just cannot. Now, you know what would be sick for Belgium? Is his own stable. Because if Siege ever comes out of here, you can dive in with Knights. That would be really smart. But I don't think it's 100% necessary. And Hakan, welcome. He says, first time here. Let's go. Congrats on the change. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I love the control project Belgium has. I also love games where someone's able to dig themselves out of a hole. In this case, it wasn't the map gen or anything. Stark chose to be in the hole. He's like, oh, that deep dark pit right there? Let me jump inside of it. Because that is how I like to live my life. A little bit of pressure over here. Good focus from Belgium. Belgium's about to drop a castle soon. Belgium has to be careful. Now, since that's an uphill shot, it doesn't take out his Mangonel. Okay, that one does. Now, this is where Belgium needs to show his micro. He's going to act like he runs this way and then split this way. Watch. As you can see, I predicted that one perfectly. I was wrong. Still has to be careful. Should run towards it and split. Run. What? How did Stark not get... Stark's Mangonel was just chilling. It was stuck in the mud. I don't know how that happened. Anyways, the stables makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that a castle in the middle makes a lot of sense to me as well. And I don't think you necessarily need to castle here. I'll tell you why, guys. Stark has a better economy. If you castle here, he'll make a castle at home. He'll treb you down. You make a castle here, Stark's trebs will have to be out in the open. You want Stark to have to protect his trebs. Okay. There's the castle. Not bad. But Stark is actually doing this. And now he's going to drop the castle. And again, this is the perfect position for the situation we mentioned. He's got a ton of resources. He's on the way to Imp. 110 Vils. Guys, I want to tell a story real quick. Just to give you an idea of how Stark likes to play the game. In case you didn't already get that vibe from things we've talked about with Stark before. So, the year was 2015. Potentially 2016. Now, I believe it was the summer of 2015 because I specifically remember it being summertime and going for a run and coming back and being surprised by the results. Yes, summer-ish of 2015, okay? And it was Legacy of the Huns, which is a Huns-only tournament, which is a great tourney, and it was very common back then. And I forget who Stark beat to make it to the finals. Maybe someone can fact-check this for me. But I remember it was MBL and Stark. And I believe it was the final. Maybe it was the semi. Anywho, everyone around the community is saying MBL is going to stomp him. MBL's way faster. Stark is really slow. Stark stonewalled every single game and won 3-0. He literally stonewalled and camped in his base every single game. Stonewalling was a lot easier back then. And beat MBL. And I was like, what? How? Stark is the type of guy that he's a giant killer. I remember him beating Yo in a tourney over the last few years. Of course, that game that's set versus MBL. There's something about him that he can get the better of some people. And I think he's just going to go Hussar here. I think he's just going to go Hussar. Oh, he beat MBL 3-2? Is that what you're saying, Ande? Maybe I got the score wrong? Okay. I mean, the most historic walling moment in a tourney was, I think, 2013 or 2014. When Viper just started his dominance and he lost to Tim when Tim stonewalled his base every game. And Viper said, and I quote, GG well played. No. He didn't say that. God, I got it wrong. GG well walled. Sorry. Obviously, well played makes sense. But Viper was salty and he said GG well walled. Now, that was many moons ago. Viper is more responsible. But it was a bit of salt from Viper, who was clearly the better player back then. It's a funny story to bring up. All right, so here's the deal about Bulgarians. They actually don't need a lot of gold. So we're going to have Hussar coming in for Stark soon. And if he gets the Stirrups upgrade, which I think we just saw researched, it means they attack 20% faster? 25% faster? A percentage faster. So they attack very quickly. And now you see upgrades coming in for Belgium. But Belgium has all this here, and this is all going to get thrashed by the Lightcav. Because he doesn't have imp upgrades. I guess he could fall back to his castle, but I think he needs to get back to his castles quickly. Don't even try and fight, because at this point, you're doing 1 damage a hit with those crossbows. Now, what he's going to try and go into here is Heavy Camel. And Heavy Camel is a perfect move against Hussars. But there is something Stark could do, and Stark could just avoid the middle and raid Belgium's base. And Belgium's already stonewalling. He knows that potential is there. This is crazy. This is a ridiculous game. 72 on food for Stark. How did he get here? And he's going to try and dig himself out of this hole. You have 7 tiles of gold on Gold Rush. That's it. And then you're out. He doesn't have relics. Project Belgium has relics. Project Belgium has 2 castles on the hill, and Project Belgium could afford to have 3 castles, 4 castles on the hill. And Project Belgium now has Camel, which means Hussars will get eaten alive, and you're probably going to have to go for something else if you're Stark. Tricky, 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 tricky. You could go Help, right? But then I think Chinese can go Chukunu. So I'm liking Project's position a whole lot more than Stark's. Unless these Hussars get in. Unless he sneaks. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Unless you sneak buildings and you start ramming into the base. And then it takes the focus away from the middle. And Stark is actually just going to sit here. And he's going to defend his own castle with his own Trebs for now. Which is so huge, man. We'll see if he's able to get the Treb RNG working on his side. But he's going to try and take out Belgium's Trebs and keep his castle up. Hussars here attacking houses. There needs to be a reaction from Belgium. Otherwise, his eco will fall apart. Belgium has control in the middle. 170 pop for both. Castle goes down for Stark, who's now housed. And he doesn't have Halbs out yet. I say yet. There's a few Halbs in here. So I feel like maybe with Stirrups, maybe with the Halbs on the way, this will be okay for Stark. But no, siree Bob. Those camels, though. All right. And good job from Belgium as he's now going to send camels this way. And Belgium, I think, is starting to take the game now. Stark has sat back for so long. I love how the crossbows are here. I think we're going to start to see archer upgrades for Belgium. So well played and so well timed. And maybe if this came in a little faster, there was a chance. Because I could see something like Halbaram breaking in and then the Hussars could follow. What an attempt from Stark, though, right? I mean, great job from Belgium. It did look a little dicey there for the last couple minutes, but he's recovered, man. And I think Stark would honestly get this win against me. I think I would make a misplay, like I wouldn't stonewall my base. I wouldn't pay attention to my base or something. I'd do everything Belgium was doing, and then Stark would get into my base, and then I would lose control of the middle. I think that Belgium has made this look very easy, how he's defended this. He made all the proper decisions in defense at home. He knew exactly what to expect. And yeah, man, it just castles everywhere. The camel switch was fast. Yeah, the production was good. He also had to get up to 55 farms. He was at like 20 farms when Stark was at 40. So he had to fix his macro, and look at that. Sick. Even going champion. And GG. And Stark says GG, well played. And that was super well played from Belgium. Like, I want to compare the ecos at 20 minutes. 20 minutes is probably an okay time for this, right? But I think 25, okay. So we have 4 TCs against 2 right now. And then eventually it was 3. Let's look at 25 minutes. At 25 minutes in the game, 92 Vils versus 71. What about 30? 30 minutes. And this is what I'm talking about with the farm count. This is where he starts to switch the camel. And he has to expand all of his farms to the back. And even now, he's starting to stonewall. See, I wouldn't think about that. I would not stonewall now. I would stonewall when I saw Hussar. And then it might be too late. But the fact that he started to stonewall now is just such a simple and smart thing that Project Belgium did in that game. And, yeah, I mean, Stark definitely had a chance there. I think Stark honestly just didn't have space to go Halb. If he had Halb a minute earlier, there weren't that many range units for Project Belgium. Maybe it's a little closer. But, man, that was a heck of a game. I love watching Stark because he's such a player of extremes that it really makes people think. And, like, sometimes he'll be extremely aggressive as well, but typically just going to be sitting behind those walls. Players have to try their best to punish it.